Hello everyone, my name is Candice and welcome to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be sharing with you guys some books that are on my to be read list. So let's get started! A lot of the books I have on my TBR list right now are books that I have actually in my room. They are right over there and I'll show you guys a closer look in a second. But there are also a couple books that I don't own that I would love to read. Here are all the books that I haven't read yet. So as I show you guys all the books that I want to read, I'm also going to be explaining to you guys why I want to read them so badly. Alrighty, so the first book series I want to read really badly is the Summer I Turned Pretty series, and I have all 3 books. I got them for Christmas. But the reason why I want to read these books so badly is because last summer my mom and we watched the show that was made because of the books, and I was hooked immediately, loved the show, and really want to read the books. The next book I want to read that is also a part of a series is Cinder, and it is a part of the Lunar Chronicles series, but I want to read it because right now the book I'm currently reading, which is the sequel to the Grimrose Girls, is called The Wicked Remain, and I want to read this book, Cinder, because both the Grimrose Girls, The Wicked Remain, and Cinder are all about like fairy tales, except both books have like different like twists on the fairy tales, so that's why I want to read it, because I love The Grimrose Girls, such a good book, and I'm really looking forward to hopefully reading this book in the near future. As I'm going through this, a lot of the books that are on my TBR list are books that are part of a series, and the book that I have right now that is in my hand that I want to read next, or that I want to read at some point, is a part of one of my favorite book series that I've been reading for such a long time, and it is Wings of Fire. It's book 15. It's called The Flames of Hope, and I want to read it because it's nice like going back and like remembering all of these characters or all the events that happened in this book series, and also I just want to know what happens next. The next book I want to read is called Here in the Real World, and I'd found it at Barnes & Noble one time when I had a bunch of gift cards stacked up to Barnes & Noble, and I went on a shopping spree and I bought 4 books from there. It was great, and I saw this book and I thought it looks really interesting, and I read the back and I got interested, and yeah, so it looks like it's going to be a good book. And I also like the title, Here in the Real World, because it seems like it's going to have like a deeper meaning, or maybe like a message that like is really important. This is another book I had gotten at Barnes & Noble, and it is called Echo's Sister, and as I was reading the summary, I saw that this book also seems like it's going to have a deeper meaning or a big message throughout it, and I really like when books have stuff like that, like the deeper meanings and like the bigger messages, because it's nice to like think about it and like just see like the purpose of that message. Okay, so these 2 books I want to read, well, not 2 books, I just have the first 2 books of the series, but it is The Trials of Apollo, and I have book 1 and book 2, and I want to read these books because I really love Percy Jackson. I love that book series, I love the Heroes of Olympus series, and I want to read another series by Rick Riordan. Like, they're just so good, and I'm hoping that these 2 books and like the other 3 books, I think there are 3 other books part of this series, but I hope that all of the books are just as good as Percy Jackson and Heroes of Olympus. The 2 books that I want to read that I read the first book of are Catching Fire and Mockingjay, which are a part of the Hunger Games series, and The Hunger Games was such a good book. I love that book, and I really want to read these 2 books because I loved the first one, and I want to know what happens and see like well, yeah, exactly, to see what happens in the next 2 books. Okay, so I have showed you guys all the books that I currently own that I want to read, and I actually have a few books that I don't own but I want to read. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder is a book I really want to read because a bunch of my friends really liked the book, and also I love plot twists, which a lot of murder mystery novels have a lot of plot twists, and I feel like that's a book that would have a lot of them. But yeah, I really want to read it. It sounds like such a good book. The Midnight Library is another book I really want to read because also my friends read it and they really enjoyed it. But also, a while ago I had seen it and I read the summary of it and I thought it sounded really good, so that's why I want to read it. Another book series I want to read really badly is the Divergent series because I read the first book, which is Divergent, and I love that book so much. I read that book so quickly because once I got hooked, and when I was reading it, I could not stop reading it until I had finished it. And I want to read the next books because the first one was just so good. Those are all the books that are on my to be read list currently right now because, you know, it'll always go up. There will always be more books that I will want to read. But if there are any books on your to be read list, comment them down below because I'd love to see what you guys are into and what you guys like to read or want to read. Alright everyone, that is the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did making it. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Bye!